What's up, guys, and welcome back to another Madden 26 Carolina Panthers franchise rebuild here. We're starting off today's game against the Arizona Cardinals. You can see our injuries there. The only one that's still worth note is, of course, Tommy Tremble. He's going to be missing at least another week. But the Cardinals have a ton of injuries today, missing James Conner as well as their starting left tackle and starting defensive lineman. So we're hoping that we can run the ball all over them today. We're going to get a heavy dose of Chuba Hubbard as we are here in Glendale, looking to continue our win streak of one game. But again, we'll start off hopefully with a 2-game win streak, but these Cardinals, they're pretty good. They won their game last week. We'll have to wait and see what happens, as the Cardinals fans are super excited for this game here today. And as you can see, the Panthers last week had 517 total yards, only allowed 331. Again, I say only very sparingly. The defense didn't look great, but they did enough just to get the job done, as we won, of course, in that last second. The offense was the one that really did all the heavy lifting. And the Cardinals seemed to have a pretty balanced game last week as well, nearly 500 yards. And here we go. We are underway here in week 2 from Glendale, as Greg Dortch is going to be the one to return the kick here. He's going to get out to around the 21-yard line. So we're going to start the game seeing what Kyler Murray has. Kyler has had kind of an up and down start to his career, but he's hoping he can put it together here, silence some doubters, and continue to keep his job in Arizona. But we'll see what he does here this season. So we're going to hand it off. Oh, sorry, play action fake by Murray. Going to hit standout receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. And Marvin Harrison burst on the scene last year. Didn't do as much as people expected him to do in his rookie season, but I expect him to develop really well and continue to be that guy for them, as Kyler's going to hand off to Benson, and Benson's going to get a big gain there of 5. And if they can just continue to run the ball like that, the Panthers are going to be in trouble. That's a big area that we need to really work on, is Murray's going to get pressured by Scorton, but he is going to get away. Kyler Murray is so elusive and fast. Got to keep an eye on him. And again, Benson's going to get a big workload today, but finally a loss of 1 there. Nick Scott with a tackle. Murray dropping back. He's going to find Benson in the pass game, who bounces off a tackle, and look at Benson go, and he's going to get near the first down marker, making it 3rd down in inches. But Kyler Murray, unfortunately, is going to get that quarterback sneak there. Panthers were not aligned properly to stop that on 3rd and inches. And Benson is only not going to get anything on the gain there. Going to make it 2nd and 10. Murray going to fake the handoff here on the RPO. And Zay Jones going to get the catch. Zay Jones, new here in Arizona. Kyler Murray, he's going to try to take off out of the pocket. And my goodness, the Panthers can't stop him with a stiff arm. This is a problem. The dual threat quarterback is causing the Panthers fits already here. And again, a heavy dose of the run game is Carter with a mean stiff arm there. J.C. Horn going to have to tackle him out of bounds. But again, the Panthers are just getting all the way ran through, and a screen pass to Benson, and Benson's going to get in the end zone. What a poor start for this Panthers defense. They needed to start stronger than last week. So if you're keeping track, that's back-to-back weeks where they've let off an opening drive touchdown that has looked rather easy. Again, this is the area of concern for this season. If we want to really be competitive and make some noise in the NFC South, the defense has to play better. As you can see, Trey McBride actually had a pretty significant injury there, just blocking on special teams. So we'll see if he can return. If not, again, that's a huge miss for the Cardinals. They're missing another weapon, as Raheem Blackshear is going to tell the man to get off of him. Get a decent return there, only to the 24. But here comes Bryce Young. Bryce had a really good week last week. Helped us carry us to a win. I know Chuba had the last second touchdown, but we don't make it there without the play of Bryce Young. So we'll see if he can't keep it up here in week 2. Young going to hand it off to Hubbard. Hubbard only going to get a gain of 2. But again, last week he had a tremendous game, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns. We're expecting those kind of numbers out of him. 17 carries. Hopefully we can keep him under 25, but we'll wait and see, as Young is going to miss Tet on the outside. Tet McMillan, of course, the standout receiver out of Arizona. We're really looking forward to as we hit Adam Thielen. Thielen comes up clutch again on 3rd down and long. That's why he is hanging out still with these Panthers. And Young going to hand off to Hubbard again. Hubbard with a stiff arm, going to try to make something out of nothing here, but he's still going to unfortunately lose 3 yards. But way to fight to try to keep it alive. Young play action, pressured. Just going to have to heave it up and league it. Xavier Leggett with an insane catch. Again, this is the thing about Leggett. Sometimes he makes these ridiculous grabs, but it's the easy ones that get him. This is why we really believe in him and his potential, but he's going to have to continue to work on those routine passes if he wants to prove that he can be an elite receiver in this game. But that is a heck of a start as Hubbard gets an excellent run there. Again, just keep force feeding our guy Chuba Hubbard, and we'll get to good spots here as Rico Dowdle looks like he has a lot of room, but unfortunately the Panthers can't get the one block on the outside as there was so much green grass in front of Dowdle. And here we go, Liggett with an easy concentration drop, and now that puts the offense in a terrible spot, and unfortunately we are not going to be able to get any points on this drive. So the Cardinals starting off the game hot here. They've went right down the field on us, and they also got a stop on us due to some unfortunate circumstances here. But we'll see. I believe the offense is going to be the ones that carry us, as Marvin Harrison's going to drop the pass there. Big hit by Mike Jackson to prevent him from completing the catch. Now Murray dropping back. Murray doesn't like what he sees. He's going to try to take off, going to break off a sack, and oh my goodness, Marvin Harrison, but he fumbles the ball. Shaw Smith-Wade's going to pick it up, and we're going to have to wait and see if that stands. The booth's going to take a look at it, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully he wasn't down by contact, but we're going to have to see, was his knee down, or did he in fact lose the ball? And it unfortunately does look like his knee is down once that ball comes out. So unfortunately the Panthers are not going to get a turnover there that they desperately needed, as they're going to continue to force feed Trey Benson here on first down. And that's going to do it for the first quarter. Unfortunately, the quarter was pretty much dominated, very one-sided by the Arizona Cardinals. Panthers offense made some moves, but just ultimately could not secure some points on their first drive. And if Arizona continues to move down the field, this could be over very quickly for Carolina. I know it's only a 7-point game, but we've seen what our defense lacks, unfortunately, as Murray's going to find the backup tight end there, make it 3rd and 5. Again, the Panthers defense needs to get off the field here. Murray in the pocket, dancing, and oh my goodness, a good throw, but no pressure, and finds a man wide open. Again, I know we've got some young pass rushers, but they have to make an impact here. Otherwise, it's going to be a very long season as Benson spins a man out. And again, we expect a heavy workload from these running backs here in Arizona. Benson, once again, only going to get about a yard. Defense, can you get off the field here? Hold them to 3 at least. Murray drops back, and he's going to hit Harrison, who drops the ball. Wow, what a drop there by Marvin Harrison. He's expected to be their go-to guy other than Trey McBride. So luckily the Panthers do get bailed out here by a mistake, and they're going to hold them to 3 points, but that's going to make the score 10-0. So again, defense got bailed out here, but let's see if the offense can't answer the bell. They are going to kick off and hit Jimmy Horn Jr. here. Jr.'s going to take it out, and he's only going to get up to about the 21-yard line, so not the best of returns there. But Young is going to hand it off to Hubbard, who gets absolutely just decimated on his carry there. And they were ready for that run. Young on the run, speaking of, going to hit Jatavian Sanders for the first down. We're hopeful that Sanders can be a go-to tight end for us, but we'll wait and see. He had a pretty good week 1, including that huge catch that put us down to the 1 with only a second remaining. And Chuba's going to get stuffed here so far for some guys missing some pieces. They are doing pretty well on defense in the run game here as Bryce is going to take off. Doesn't like what he sees, but he is only going to get a gain of 2 here on the catch by Liggett. Liggett's been targeted a few times so far as Young's going to hit Thielen. What a grab. What a throw and catch that was. Keeping the drive alive here on 3rd and long. Young pressured immediately and is going to get sacked by Zaven Collins. Came through with ease. Bryce had no time on the play there. He's looking for McMillan. Unfortunately, double cover just throws it out of bounds. 3rd and long once again. You can't keep in these positions as that is almost intercepted there. Young didn't have a lot of options. But again, we're putting ourselves in these 3rd and longs, and you can't expect Adam Thielen or anyone for that matter to bail you out on those plays. So again, back-to-back drives with no points. The Cardinals have a chance to increase their lead as Murray is taking off on the read option, going to try to get out of bounds up to the 43, already 51 yards on the ground. The ultimate dual threat is just dominating us so far. Murray in the pocket, look at that, all day. But unfortunately misses the target there, throwing it away. Murray on the RPO, going to find the backup tight end once again, who breaks off a tackle, but only a gain of 5. So again, 3rd and 5. What can the defense do to try to get the ball back for their offense? And the answer is nothing. There's a man wide open over the middle. And again, the Cardinals are just having their way with this Panthers defense. Murray going to take off, and no one is going to account for Kyler Murray. My goodness, Kyler Murray might have a career day with how this defense is playing. Already 17-0 here in the second quarter. The Panthers need to answer the bell going into half to at least put some points on the board to give themselves a chance coming out of the locker room, as Blackshear is going to get a pretty decent return up to the 33-yard line. So what can Bryce Young do? Young dropping back, pressure coming, taking off. What's he going to do? He's just going to run for a yard here. That was one of the hardest yards to ever earn. So again, the Cardinals are doing a great job defensively so far of just boxing this Young offense up. And Young going to drop back again. He's going to hit Chuba Hubbard on the check down. Chuba is going to make a man miss and get all the way up to the 47-yard line. So that's a pretty good play there. We'll see what the Panthers going to do. They are in the hurry up. Just going to hand it off to Hubbard because the Cardinals were actually in a quarter defense, so that gives a good opportunity for the run game there, all the way up to the 34-yard line in enemy territory. Again, can we get some points on the board going in the half? Going to hand it off to Dowdle once again. Dowdle's going to get a big carry here. So the Panthers surprised everyone with a couple runs here with only a minute left, but it works out due to what the defense came out in here in the quarter, just expecting the Panthers just to bomb it deep. Screen pass here to Chuba, and again, the screens have just not developed for us. That's one of our bread and butter plays, but the Cardinals have been on top of it. They must have seen week one in our victory as Sanders makes an athletic catch there on a ball that was just a little bit high by Bryce Young. And Tim Blackwell's going to take a timeout with 22 seconds remaining. 3rd down and 4. Young in the pocket. He's going to hit McMillan or no. McMillan just did not go for the pass. It looked like that was a pretty good throw there. And now the Panthers feel the pressure. They're actually going to go for it here. And Young's just going to take it himself. It looked like he had McMillan once again over the middle, but just wanted to play it safe. He knew he had the edge. Do it himself just to get us on the board here. And that is a huge score. Is now we have 6 points on the board, pinning the extra point. It's going to make it a 10-point game, 17-7 going into halftime. So the Cardinals really had their way, but that was a huge answer by Bryce Young in the offense. What can we do coming out of half? Can the defense step it up? Can the offense continue to get some points? We'll see, but first we're going to have the halftime report for week 2 so far. We've got the Seattle Seahawks taking on those Pittsburgh Steelers, both unbeaten so far at 1-0, and Rodgers is going to have an easy one here on the handoff to Jaylen Warren, who stretches across, and it looks like they are going to get the win here in Pittsburgh against Seattle and Sam Darnold, who had a pretty decent game, but was outdueled by Aaron Rodgers. Now we got the Patriots and those Miami Dolphins at home this week. Tua is going to take off here. Oh my goodness, Tua making some moves. Who would expect Tua to be the guy to take off and run with a stiff arm? Tua is going to go all the way. What a play. Tua's had back-to-back really good weeks here. Putting it all together here for them to start off 2-0. And finally, we've got the New York Jets versus those Buffalo Bills. So Josh Allen dropping back on the tight end screen to Dalton Kincaid, and Kincaid's going to run a man over, get off me and get into the end zone. In a low-scoring game, they win 17-10. So as you can see, some of the scores left around the league here. Atlanta takes on Minnesota, so we'll be keeping an eye on that game. And again, Kyler Murray has just had an insane game. The run game for Arizona has really gone through us because that's not even accounting for the 50-plus yards that Murray put on the ground. But luckily the Panthers do receive the ball here coming out of half, so we're going to see what they can do. Blackshear's going to get a really good return here all the way up to the 36. He's been a bright spot on special teams thus far this season with some pretty solid returns. As Bryce Young under center is going to hand off to Chuba Hubbard, and Hubbard with the juke move there to get a really solid carry there all the way up to the 44 before being stopped by Jalen Thompson. But that is a good carry for Chuba Hubbard. Hopefully he can get it going on the ground here as we're going to hand it off to him on the stretch play, and he's going to get a block by Liggett, and here goes Hubbard all with a stiff arm all the way up to the 17. So the Panthers run game is finally feasting here. This is what they need to get some pressure off, give the defense a rest. And now we're going to hand off to Rico Dowdle, who tries to make a move, but unfortunately is only going to get a gain of about a yard. But again, keep him honest with that run game as Young in the shotgun, dropping back. Young on the move again, pressure coming. He's taking off, and it looks like he's going to fight there just to get up to the 10-yard line to make it a 3rd down manageable. Young on the RPO, going to hand off to Hubbard, who tries to leap into the end zone. Hubbard only able to get up to the 1-yard line. Luckily didn't lose it. Ultimately tried to go for that highlight play. As here's Teteroa McMillan with his first career touchdown on the fade route there by Bryce Young. We're hoping that this duo can be the premier duo in the NFC South for the remainder of this series. But time will tell. It looks like they've got some pretty good chemistry thus far in Tetaroa's rookie year. Bryce Young looks to hopefully trust him there, even though he did have that drop on the last drive. He went right back to him to keep his confidence high, as the Panthers are going to make it a 3-point game here, 17-14. So we're staying in it. But the only way they can is if this defense can finally get a stop and hold them to nothing here. As Zay Jones is going to get a good return here, bouncing off some tacklers, finally brought down all the way up at the 29-yard line. Let's see what this defense has in store. As Benson's going to get another stiff arm here. He's been feasting this far today. Only a 2-yard gain, though, there. So not the worst outcome, as Murray has all day again. Going to hit Zay Jones to make it 3rd down and 5, but Zay couldn't complete the catch. So 3rd and 5, big 3rd down here. Murray in the gun, dropping back. He's going to take off, and again, the Panthers have no one to account for him. My goodness, what a long day this is going to be. 83 yards already on the RPO here to Marvin Harrison Jr. for a 5-yard gain. Again, stretch play, but Derek Brown is there to eat it up for a loss of 2. 3rd down and 7. Can we get off the field? Pressure coming. Wharton couldn't make the play. But again, Harrison drops another one. I know Mike Jackson was on him that time, but that's one that you expect your star receiver to make to help your quarterback out. But the Panthers will take that. We're happy to get a stop regardless of how. Young, he's going to drop back and bomb it up and hit Liggett. Liggett's going to take off. Look at Liggett go. Nobody's going to catch him. Touchdown, Carolina. What a bomb. I don't think anyone in the stadium expected Carolina to come out guns blazing on their first drive, as usually the offense runs through Chuba on those first couple of downs there. But what a gutsy play call that was by our offense. What a throw and catch. Again, this is what Xavier Liggett can do. Such great speed, so athletic. When he gets the ball in his hands and completes the catch, it's hard to stop a guy like that. As the Panthers, although we have gone through it thus far today, we actually have the lead here in the 3rd quarter with a 21-17 game. And now, can the defense build off that momentum and hopefully get another stop here? Benson's going to try to get a run there, but another TFL by Derek Brown blowing up the backfield. Murray dropping back and had no one there. Some pressure in his face. Already 3rd and long. They're going to have to settle for a screen pass. Benson looks like he might get there, but the Panthers are able to stop him. Back-to-back stops with a 3-and-out this time. Now, the defense looks like they've kind of woken up here. Hopefully they can keep it going. Now the offense has a good opportunity to extend that lead. Young on the play action, going to hit one of his favorite targets in Adam Thielen for a 7-yard gain. Young with 3 touchdowns already, almost 200 yards passing. Hubbard going to try to get the edge. Unfortunately, he can't. It is going to be 3rd down and 4. Young dropping back. He's going to hit Hubbard, who gets the 1st down. But unfortunately, it looks like that play is coming back, as there is a hold on the field. My goodness. Austin Corbett, unfortunately, the guilty man here, as it's 3rd down and 14. Young pressured, and he's going to go down. And he is hurt on the play here, so we're going to have to keep an eye out. It looks like he's grabbing his shoulder. Luckily, it's not his throwing shoulder, but we can't afford for Bryce Young to be out. No disrespect for Andy Dalton, a veteran journeyman, a guy who we really love being his backup quarterback. But this offense just does not move the same without Bryce Young out there. Now, Kyler Murray going to hand off to Benson. Benson, another TFL. So far the Panthers have stepped it up here. Trevin Wallace with a tackle for loss that time. Now, Murray dropping back. He's going to get sacked. And look who it is again. Trevin Wallace with back-to-back huge plays, a TFL and a sack, making it 3rd down and 19. Murray going to try to just get some yards back. And again, this was the Trevin Wallace drive. My goodness. Flying all over the field. He has been a very bright spot for this defense overall, as the Panthers are going to have the lead heading into the 4th quarter here. The defense has really stepped it up here in this quarter, this whole half. Hopefully they can keep it up, and maybe the Panthers can go ahead and try to put this game away with another score. So, again, a very productive quarter for Carolina. Now the offense is going to get the ball back. Now, punting off to Jimmy Horn Jr. Can he make some moves here, get us some positive gain? Only up to about the 20. He hasn't looked the best on kickoffs, but we're going to keep him out there. He has some explosive speed. We believe in him back there. So we'll see if he can't get things going on the return game, as the RPO to Tedrow McMillan's going to get us to the 32 on the first down. He's had a pretty good game thus far. Chuba Hubbard on the run, only going to get about a gain of 2. Young, play action, dropping back. Doesn't have anyone. He's going to find Liggett. And unfortunately, what a dime that was, but Liggett can't hold on. Young pressured again. He's going to get sacked. And unfortunately, we don't get bailed out by a flag. If you're going to hold, at least protect your starting quarterback from taking the hit. So Carolina ultimately can't capitalize with some points. We're going to have to punt it back to Greg Dortch. And Dortch is going to get up to the 44-yard line. Murray, play action. And Nick Scott, what are you doing? He fell for the bait, leaving Higgins wide open there. My goodness. Marvin Harrison Jr. this time, he's going to make the catch over Mike Jackson, getting all the way to the 9 before he's blasted by Merrick. And now Murray on the RPO is going to hit Zay Jones up to the 2-yard line. And now on the counter play, Benson's going to try to fight, but it's going to be 3rd down and goal. Can we get a stop here, holding to 3? Murray dropping back, Scorton trying to get his first sack, and they do get the stop. Great play, but they're going to go for it here. Benson, he's just going to stretch across the pylon for the touchdown. My goodness. Absolutely gutsy call there by Arizona. Great execution. Unfortunately, Carolina, they did some good things defensively, just couldn't get off the field. And Arizona now takes a 3-point lead with 5 minutes to go here. So pressure's on for the offense. It feels like they have to get points here. So here we go. Raheem Blackshear with another good return all the way up to the 36. He just continues to do good things on the kick returns. Chuba Hubbard with a good run all the way up to the 48. Great blocks there by this offensive line. Now Young dropping back, pressure coming, and unfortunately he just sails on him a little bit on the run. It's kind of a tough throw there. Young under center this time. Looks like he's going to hand it off to Hubbard. Hubbard tries to make a man miss. Is going to get an 8-yard gain as he's over that 100-yard mark for back-to-back weeks. 14 carries, so he's nearing what he had last week. Again, trying to keep him under 25 if at all possible. Rico Dowdle up to the 34. Pretty good carry there. Halfback draw. Chuba Hubbard again going to get the first down. This run game has been great so far today. Hubbard is going to bounce off a tackle, a couple tackles to get a gain of 1. It looked like he was stuffed in the backfield for at least a loss of 3 there. Young on the rollout. Oh my goodness. It looked like Liggett had a step, but unfortunately Young just couldn't put enough on that ball as he was on the run to his right side. Again, Liggett did have a step on his defender. Young just could not make the throw there as Murray just continues to deliver. Marvin Harrison, oh my goodness, he bounced off a few tackles looking just like his dad there for the touchdown. And just like that, this game feels like it's out of reach. Wow, the Panthers dominated that 3rd quarter, all just for these Cardinals to take over here in the 4th. And with 1 minute and 56 seconds left, down 10, it's not looking good. But again, anything's possible. We're still here to play. Raheem Blackshear going to get a good return once again. Get absolutely shellacked up to the 35-yard line. Young dropping back. Going to find Liggett this time to make it 2nd down and inches. Liggett with a very good game. 4 catches, 120 yards. Chuba Hubbard on the run. Going to follow his blocks. Hubbard just going to try to get out of bounds to conserve those timeouts, making 1 minute 43 seconds left on the clock. Young going to find Thielen. Thielen's going to fight forward all the way up for the first down. Now, in the hurry up, here we go. Young dropping back. He's going to lob it up in double coverage there to Tedrow McMillan, and the pass is nearly intercepted once again, making it 2nd down and 10. Young again in the shotgun. He's going to take off. Doesn't like what he sees. He is going to dive down before taking the hit. Good decision there by Young. Play action. Young dropping back, and he's going to find Jatavian Sanders, but just overthrew him there. And the Panthers are going to get 3 points on the board here, so they need this onside kick to continue the game. Here we go. Sam Martin on the kick. It's going to bounce off, and I cannot believe it. The Panthers have new life. Young dropping back, going to take the hit, but my goodness, I cannot believe they just got that onside kick. They have a chance here to go down and tie the game with a touchdown, and a big run by Chuba Hubbard is going to help us. They use their first of their 3 timeouts. 50 seconds remaining. Young on the run. Doesn't like what he sees. Unfortunately, he's going to have to throw it away. Good choice there. Don't hold the ball too long and drain that clock. Hubbard going to get some great blocks here all the way up to the 23. 163 on the ground. Young, he's going to hit Ted McMillan. Tetaroa going to get all the way up to the 14. Panthers going to use their second timeout. There's a man off sides here. It looks like Young going to hit Liggett. And the Panthers are going to tie the game. We got to make sure that was, in fact, an offsides. It looked like a member of the secondary inexplicably just jumped off sides there for Arizona. But, again, what are the referees going to say? Is this call going to stand on the field? And it is offsides on Arizona. The Panthers are going to tie this game up instead of going for 2. They like their chances heading into overtime here in week 2. Back-to-back weeks of games that go down to the wire, and this time can't decide it in regulation. We're going to have to go to OT as Blackshear continues with another good return and a stiff arm up to the 33. So Young with the ball first, going to hand off to Hubbard. Hubbard's going to lose one, and he's hurt. Chuba Hubbard is dealing with cramps. Hubbard will not return for the remainder of this game. So unfortunately, the Panthers are going to have to go on without their leader out there on offense. But Bryce Young stepping up, going to hit Jatavian Sanders for the first down. Now going to hand off to Rico Dowdle, guy who we believe in back there, backing him up for a gain of 3. Play action to Dowdle. Young, he's going to try to hit Mitchell Evans, and Buda Baker steps out in front. Oh no, it looked like Mitchell Evans had a step there, but what a play by Buda Baker as he just stepped up there in front of the pass. Young couldn't put enough on it, and now the Cardinals only need to score to win the game. And they're all the way up to the 5-yard line. The Panthers need a miracle here, and unfortunately they're not going to get it as Trey Benson's going to get a walk-off touchdown here in Glendale. The Panthers are going to fall to 1-1 to the now 2-0 Arizona Cardinals. After what was a spirited comeback there in the fourth quarter, we just couldn't do enough to continue this game. Again, a couple of costly turnovers by the offense, a couple throws that Bryce Young wishes he had back. But I love the fight of what this team had today. Defensively, although they gave up quite a few points, they had some good moments there. Kyler Murray, who had just an absolutely spectacular game, and Bryce Young could have played a little bit better. The numbers don't look the best as far as completion percentage and his interceptions, but I think that he had a pretty good game here today. Chuba Hubbard was a monster, 162 yards. He is going to be okay. He just has cramps that he's dealing with. Xavier Liggett with a standout game here, his best of his young career thus far, competing with Marvin Harrison Jr. Again, that's the potential of Xavier Liggett and what he can bring to this offense. So hopefully he can continue that momentum going into week 3 against our rival Atlanta Falcons. Man, what an upsetting defeat. But again, it's early. We're looking forward to week 3 against our rival Falcons. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today. If you did, go ahead and smash the like button. Comment your thoughts on today's game. Do you think Bryce Young's to blame? Do you think the defense can turn it around heading into week 3 against the Falcons and Drake London and Kyle Pitts and all the weapons that are at the Falcons' disposal? Or do you think ultimately our defense is going to be our downfall heading into week 3? And again, if you're excited to see more episodes of this Panthers franchise, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and we will see you guys next time.